because I didn't panic.
Kevin got his CDL on March 2nd, 2021. This is an interview we did that day. YouTube had taken it down because he shows you his temporary CDL, but I've pixelated that part, and if you're interested in hearing what he did for the testing, this is a step-by-step. We hope it's helpful. Congratulations, Kevin, on 2 years.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our interview series with Kevin, talking about his experience at the Phoenix Truck Driving Institute, getting his CDL. And I'm just wondering if you noticed something different today. That's right, he's wearing the Phoenix Truck Driving School hat. Why is that, honey?
You get the hat when you pass your CDL exam and get your CDL.
So guess what happened today?
Today I passed my test. I got my CDL. Yep.
All right, listen, put congratulations down there in the comments. All right, we are just ecstatic, so happy for Kevin. So join us in our celebration, in our joy, by commenting below. Give us a thumbs up because Kevin's worked hard for this, and this was the grand finale to your 4 weeks and 2 days. It's here. How did all this go today, honey?
Well, today my test was at 9:30 in the morning, and the school is a licensed testing, like a third-party testing facility. So one of the guys at the school does the actual exam. Made the appointment for 9:30 this morning. That happened like last Wednesday, and so I got there a little after 8 this morning. Just wanted to look around, check things out. If you have your test, you can't get on the list and do maneuvers or go for a ride or anything. It's just the test. Even if your test is like 6 o'clock at night, they're not gonna let you on a truck before that.
So you slept in a little bit.
Slept in a little, had a good breakfast, got a little exercise, you know.
Nice.
And then I went into the office before 9 o'clock. Because you got to be in front of that guy's desk a half an hour before your test. And I said, I'm Kevin Sloan, I'm here for my test. He said, okay, good to see you. I said, my test is at 9:30. He said, no, it's at 10:30. I said, okay, so I guess I'll just hang out for an hour.
That's weird. Pretty sure they told you 9:30.
I was very sure because I put it in my phone as soon as I was told it was 9:30.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would have typed it in wrong. So somebody got their wires crossed.
But anyway, it was at least
Phoenix
it was
Truck
today.
Driving Institute. Yeah, it was today. So I had some time to go and talk to the guys and look at the truck and do a little studying, because I also wrote some exams later, and I'll tell you about that. And then I was standing in front of the truck at 10:30, and he came out, met me at the truck. I went through the first part, which is the pre-trip inspection, which I've been rehearsing in my sleep for the last 3 weeks.
And commenting when we drive past trucks. You'll hear Kevin make strange little comments like, oh, that reflective tape is perfectly centered and without dirt and reflective surface and whatever.
It's
really
good condition, firmly attached, and of a reflective nature.
There you go.
There you go. So I was rhyming that stuff off. He said I sounded like an auctioneer. I was so fast. Every word coming out.
I have to interject. You actually had relatives who had an auction barn in Ontario.
Yeah, 2 of my uncles were auctioneers.
Yeah, maybe it's in your blood.
So got through the inspection. It was perfect. He was very happy. He says 100% on that. Okay, next moved over to the trucks. Do a straight back maneuver. Got it perfect. Okay, honk the horn. Go over to another truck. Got it in position. Did my offset. Perfect. No pull up. No this or that. I just walked it into the slot. Got her in direct.
Wow.
Very good. Then I set up for my parallel. Got the first part of the parallel. Got the truck lined up. Brought it back. And as usual, I went too far in to the slot before I made my turn, and the trailer was too far in. So he stopped me. He says, you're over the line with the trailer. So kind of reset a little. Brought it in, so the trailer was real nice. Got it walking in there. Got the tractor in. Stop me. Your trailer tires are over the line. Oh, that's 2.
Oh no!
So then I didn't go all the way out and reset it. But now I've already done 1 pull-up, which is okay. But going over the line is not okay. That's like hitting a cone. That's like,
Right?
What I didn't just the trailer at first got a little over the line, and then the tractor got a little over the line. So I just pulled ahead a bit, figured out what I had to do, cranked it hard, got it in, walked it forward, and he's like, great, because I didn't panic. I didn't like drive halfway up the yard and start from scratch or this or that. I figured out on the spot what I needed to do and just corrected right from there. So that's good.
Did you get out and look around, or you did it all from still being inside?
I did. After he said good, great, okay, I thought, I'm going to get out and look just for myself, you know.
So you did.
So I got out and looked.
Yeah, and that's allowed.
Yeah, it is allowed. You get 2 free looks and you get 2 free pull-ups to reset. I used it, so I don't know if going over the line cost me a point, but I went over the line twice. But you're allowed 12 points, so at the most I had 2 points off.
Okay.
Then it was off to the other truck to hit the road.
Does he sit next to you or behind you?
He's in the passenger seat. He's giving directions.
And when you were doing the maneuver, is he outside?
He's outside. He's
Okay.
outside. So he's like, right.
And subscribe below.
Subscribe below. So we headed out of the yard, took a right turn, got on the lower Buckeye, all the way across to 75th.
We're in Phoenix, people,
We're
by
in
the
Phoenix,
way.
and
Yeah.
I'm driving along, and after a couple of blocks, he's like, you know, staying 5 miles under the speed limit, that's for when you're being instructed. This test is to show you can drive this thing like a normal person. So get up to the speed limit. Oh, okay. So I usually drive slow even in the car. In this truck, I was being cautious, and I was behind another truck, and he was doing under the speed limit. So I was just staying safe,
Right.
you know, keeping a safe distance between us, but we were doing under the speed limit. He says, you can pass this guy if you want. Okay. Click. Off we go. Past that truck, headed up a ways, kept going straight, didn't make any turns, and usually in training you're doing all kinds of stuff. We just kept going and going. And then I got behind another truck that was going slow, but now it's one lane. I couldn't pass him. He's looking a little like under the speed limit. He's making like hesitating and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, wow, this guy's in worse shape than me. What the hell's wrong with him? I wonder if it's a student. But there were no marks on the truck. I was trying to see if it had a school name on it or something. There's nothing. Come up to 75th Avenue, and that guy got in the left lane to make a left turn, and I got in the right lane to make a right turn. And the instructor, the examiner's looking over. He says, yeah, that's one of our trucks from the school. And look, sure enough, there was one of the instructors sitting there looking at me. But it wasn't, it was a new acquisition. It didn't have any labels or markings on it. Even the cab was white, you know, with no stickers. So
But you could tell.
I could tell it was a student. Yeah. And then I saw Matt sitting there, and I gave him a wave. So made a right, passed Swift Transportation Terminal.
Nice.
And headed all the way up to the interstate. Way up north, a couple of miles. And got on the interstate going west. I thought, wow, where are we going here? LA? And then on to the 101, which is a loop going around the city. So that's like you're coming off of one freeway and onto another freeway. And he's telling me I don't have to downshift, and I was about to. I said, that's good to know. And got on that, went up a few exits, and he said, you can get off now. So I got off. He said, you're going to make a left. Made 2 lefts and got right back on, headed back the way I came. Down that freeway, back on the interstate 10 going east, and then onto the 202, another loop freeway around the city. Took the 202 down.
And how was traffic?
At some of the intersections, it got pretty busy. There was one intersection where I had to make a really wide turn, and I was in the left turning lane of the oncoming traffic, and a car had just started to pull up, and I'm like, whoa. He says, go for it. So I just like finished my turn, and the person waited, and then came up, and you know, I waved, said sorry about that, but you can't take the corner short and have your trailer run over the sidewalk. That would be very, very bad. So I made the turn extra wide.
And does your truck have a, you know, decal or something indicating that it's a testing truck or
it says
school
student
truck?
It says student driver all over the truck.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was touchy, but I wasn't panicked or anything. And he said, just go ahead. So I went ahead. Yeah, and there was moderate traffic on the freeway. It wasn't bad. I was able to make my lane changes. You know, just watching traffic. It was It's not like it was empty, but it wasn't bumper to bumper or stalled or anything. I was doing the speed limit. Come off of the 202 on the lower Buckeye, and 3 blocks over, and you're at the school. And we were at the last traffic light before the school, and he said, "Well, that's it. You did really good." I said, "Well, we're not home yet. I don't know what's going to happen in the next half a block." He says, "No, you're fine." I brought the truck into the yard and walked it around and parked it again, and he said that was pretty good. Pretty good. You're very confident. I said, "What do I need to work on anything? Is it still still something to do?" Basically, you're too cautious. You're driving too slow, and actually, if you're doing that, you're becoming a hazard because people are backed up behind you and getting impatient and so on. One guy pulled out into the middle turning lane to pass me at one point. And I thought, yeah. And then he had a red light half a block later. I just pulled up beside him, but he couldn't. He was getting impatient and so on, and then he did a stupid move.
Yeah.
So maybe I was creating a hazard by not getting up to the speed limit enough. But he said that's really the only thing. You don't want to be a hazard to other people by being too cautious. And I would come to a light, and I'm watching. Maybe the light's going to turn green, and I'm verbalizing. This is something I learned recently is keep talking. Like I'm watching intersections. I'm watching my mirrors. Looks like I'm in 6th gear. I see that traffic light up there. It's green, but it might change. It looks like it's going to change. And he's like, "Just go for it." Just like, like, it might change. It might change. Okay, it's still green. Away we go. But one light I knew was going to change, and I knew I wouldn't make it. And I already had my hand on the shifter. He said, "Don't shift. If it changes, deal with it then. Hit the brakes, bring it down. Don't worry about shifting if there's not enough time. You just walk it down to a stop, and then put her down into second and get ready to go again. But don't start going crazy trying to downshift when there's no time." I said, "All right." So
Okay, so did you get a score?
Nope.
Is there a score?
Didn't. There's no score. Went back to the office, and he said, "Wait at the table," and he came out with a single piece of paper, which was the original application to do the CDL test. And he signed it and stamped it and basically said, take this down to motor vehicles, hand it to them, and they'll give you your CDL.
Woo!
So that's all there was to it. He said, come back once you have that so they can photocopy it and refund you the fee. So they cover that. It's in your tuition, but they'll refund you your fee down at motor vehicles.
Which is how much?
Well, and I got my learner's permit, did the written test 4 weeks ago. That was $25. Today, the CDL fee was $25, but I also, when I got there, I said I also want to write my endorsements today. So for hazmat, tankers, and the double trailer, triple trailer, it's a written test. So that was another $20. And the school did reimburse me for the whole $45.
Nice, but they gave you a check?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a check. And so went to line B and called next. I went over and handed the paper and said I want to write my endorsements. They did a lot of typing. Handed me another piece of paper, said go over to computer number 9. And when you're done, go to line C. So I went to computer 9 and tapped the screen. It's a computer monitor with a touch screen. So I tapped the screen. And it came up and said, "Is this you?" Here's my name. So I said, "Yes." Now there's a couple of pieces of paper there that says things like, make sure your cell phone's off, don't have any books or reading material on the table. If you're caught cheating, it's fraud, blah, blah, blah. You won't get your CDL. And a bunch of rules. And then I tapped the screen, said, "This is me." And then the test just started. So the first part,
right there.
Yeah, right there on the monitor. So
Was there a seat? It sounded like you were
there's a
standing
chair
over there.
No, there's a chair.
Okay.
You're sitting at a table, and this monitor's up in front of you. There's no keyboard or mouse. It's just a touch screen. And so the first one started.
And you didn't need an appointment for this. It was just when you showed up.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's a really big room with a lot of windows. And when I walked in, there was like 2 people standing in line waiting. And by the time I left, there was about 10 people. But they were processing them pretty fast. And it's, people getting registration, people getting driver's licenses, people getting CDLs, people doing their tests and stuff there. So doing the endorsement tests, doubles and triples was first. 20 questions. So I was working my way through the questions, and if there was one where I wasn't sure, like sometimes the answers are a little ambiguous, or I don't remember correctly if it was this exact wording, you can skip that question, and then when you get to the end, it can come back. But if you've already got your 80%, if you already got 16 right, you don't even have to worry about that question. You don't do it again. So I did
and
that.
You can go back to them if you need to?
No, you won't go back to them unless you've made so many mistakes, you've gotten to like all the questions, then it'll throw those back to see if you still can pass by answering them.
Right.
But it's, if you're guessing, it's better to skip it until the next question you're sure you got the right answer, you're just zipping through it.
Yeah.
So I did 17 out of 20 questions and got one wrong to get my 80%, and I probably skipped 3 or 4 questions that didn't come back, because as soon as I got 16 right, it stops.
Right.
So the next one was the hazmat, which is 30 questions, and a pass would be 24 questions. And so I was going through those. I think I skipped 2 questions, but I got none wrong. So when I hit 24, the test stopped.
Wow.
So that was perfect.
That's good. And you know your hazmat, which is very good, because that stuff can be dangerous.
Yeah.
That's
And
great.
The third part was the tankers, and that was 20 questions. And I zipped through that. I think I skipped 1 question. Tankers is pretty easy. And I got 16 right, and the test stopped. And I only skipped 1. I had none wrong. So out of 57 questions, I got 1 question wrong, and probably skipped or didn't actually answer,
No, is it
6 or 7.
57? No, you
I answered 57
answered
questions.
57.
Yes. Out of a potential 70.
Okay. Wow. So that's actually not just squeaking by. I mean, you did really well.
Yeah. Yeah. And then back to line B and wait for somebody to call me. And then I handed them the papers, and they said, okay, so you passed your skills test, you did the endorsements, and have you already done the background check for the hazmat? Because you have to go to Homeland Security, and they fingerprint you and do a background check on you to make sure you're not a felon or a terrorist, and then you can get your hazmat endorsement. So if you write the test and you pass the test, it still doesn't go on your license until that background check is done. The girl got on the phone and actually called to see if, since I'd already started the process, if it was approved, they just haven't let me know yet, she would go ahead and put the endorsement on my license. And she was on hold for more than 15 minutes before she got an answer. And it was still in process, so she couldn't actually do it, but she did her best to try and save me having to come back in a week or 2.
That was nice of her.
And get a new one issued with that extra endorsement on it.
So now it's not on there.
It's not on there. Gotta wait for that endorsement.
There's a B.
There's a B on me.
Yep, watch out, B.
So
Are you about to show it to me?
yeah, they don't print it out. It's on a computer.
Digging deep in his pocket.
It's on a computer, so it doesn't actually come out as a hard card or whatever. So they just give you a copy of it, photocopy. So this is my. Oh, and I got to sit for another picture, so I got yet another photo. Picture of myself. There it is, right in the corner there. See, it says Class A.
Yeah.
Endorsement NT.
Yeah.
Which is the tanker and double trailers. What?
Tankers, and the N stands for
Doubles and triples.
Not singles.
Right, and then underneath it says rest, which is restrictions.
Rest is bathroom.
Restriction for glasses. I have to wear glasses when I drive a truck.
Not rest in the bathroom?
Right, so this was issued today, March 2nd, 2021, expires March 2nd, 2026. It's good for 5 years.
Wow.
I do have to get my DOT physical redone every year.
Right.
And then your hazmat, you have to redo every 3 years.
Right, because there's always changes and upgrades.
Yeah.
rules and regulations. And usually just want to clarify in case somebody else didn't see our video earlier in this series, normally you only have to do the DOT physical every 2 years, but because Kevin just had a procedure for his atrial fibrillation, he had some ablation done on that, which actually now should put him in really good condition, but because of that, they decided to only give him a 1 year window for his DOT physical.
People who are diabetic or with really high blood pressure and other conditions would be at a higher risk and need to pass that test once a year as well.
Yeah.
So now I have my CDL, and I got in the car and went back to the school so they could photocopy it and give me a check to reimburse me for the $45 fee. And got this here hat.
Yep, that's your graduation present from the school.
They took my picture.
They took your picture
So
holding a big sign that said, I got my CDL today.
My CDL. So they may use that for promotional purposes or put it on the wall or something like that. That's okay.
Yeah.
And everybody from my class had already gone home. This was like 2:30, so they'd already left an hour before, even the instructors, so I didn't get a chance to say goodbye or thank them or anything, but I did see the head instructor, Steven. I went in and said, got my CDL, thank you so much for everything, and say bye to the instructors for me. They're a good bunch of guys, take good care of them, you know?
Yeah.
And then I came home. So the next step is to get a job.
Well, that'll be another video, because we've done a lot of research, and I'm sure you're all on the edge of your seat to see where Kevin is actually going to end up driving for his first driving job. But in the meantime, wow, Kevin, I'm so happy for you, and I'm really, impressed with your dedication and your diligence in how you approach this whole project, and congratulations. So everybody join me again, put some comments below, and if you have questions for Kevin, you can put those down there too. We thank you so much for joining us on this interview series. That concludes the one about Phoenix Truck Driving School, unless there's some addendums, but
all done at Phoenix Truck Driving School. They will have a certificate for me. I'll have to go back and pick it up in a little while, but that's it.
Wow, but this is really great, and I hope that all of you got something out of this interview series. We hope that you also follow your path, and maybe that might just include a bright future in trucking. So thank you, Kevin. That's it from us. Let's see, give us the like, and we already said comment below, questions below, and if you want more videos like this and want to follow us on this journey, hit that subscribe button. With love from Kevin, the truck driver, woohoo, and Tanya.
Bye.
Bye.